The example for how to use our surface area formula. I'm going to start by giving you an example that uses the most components of the formula. So it'll be the most involved example that we'll be doing this year. And so the example starts off with this cylinder right here, which has a radius of 5 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters. And we're going to be finding out the total surface area of this cylinder, or in other words, how much material it would take to create that cylinder. So the first thing we have to do is find out the radius. Now in this example, I've got the radius down for 5 centimeters. If this was a diameter, I would have to divide it by 2 to find the radius. But in this case, I've got a radius of 2 centimeters, so I'm just going to write that down, or sorry, 5 centimeters, and I'll write that down. And it says to find out the height, so my height right here is listed as 10 centimeters. And remember, the height is the distance between the circles on a cylinder. So whether it was sideways or standing up like it is right now, the height is the distance between one circular face and the other circular face. So it says to write down the formula and what I know. So right now I have what the items I know here. So I need to write down my formula for surface area. And for that, it's surface area equals 2 times pi radius squared. And it's 2 because there's 2 circles, and pi times radius squared is the area of each circle. But I also need to add in the area of this rectangle. And from our work that we did yesterday, we know that it's the circumference of that circle, which is 2 times pi times the radius. And we also need to multiply that by the height, which is one side of that rectangle. So this will give me the area of the rectangle and the area of the 2 circles. So now I'm on to step 4 here, and step 4 tells me to start substituting values. So in this case, I've got 2 times pi, and my radius is 5 centimeters. And I'm just going to use the 5. I'm not going to put the centimeters in right now. And I still need to add 2 times pi, and again the radius, which is 5 centimeters, and the height, which is 10 centimeters. So now I start doing my math, and again, as I've mentioned to you before, we're going to use these rules of Bedmas. So step 5, rules of Bedmas. So the first thing I need to do are exponents. So I've got 2 times pi, and it's 5 times 5, so that would be 25. Remember, exponent 2 means the number multiplied by itself. So it's not 5 times 2, it's 5 times 5. And again, 2 times pi and 5 times 10. I'm writing all these things down again because I haven't used them yet. So now I don't have any exponents left, so I can move on to my dividing and multiplying. And I'm going to do 2 times pi times 25. Well, I know I can do 2 times 25 and make it simple, so I'm going to leave the pi alone to begin with. So it's going to be pi, and 2 times 25 is 50. So pi times 50 plus, well, 2 times 5 is 10, times 10 again gives me 100. So then it's plus pi times 100. And now I can do, well, pi times 50. So pi times 50 is 157. I'm going to add to that pi times 100. Well, 3.14 times 100 is 314. And if I add those together, I'm going to get 150 plus 300 is 450. And then 7 plus 14 is 21. 21 plus 450, so 471 centimeters square. And I'm going to use that square centimeters because that is my unit for surface area. So again, what we need to do is we start off by writing down the things that we know, use our formula, change our variables into what we've stated our numbers are. Then we need to start by doing the exponents, and then we work through our multiplication and finally our addition and our units here, which have to be squared units. So that's how we would do an example of surface area. There's a few questions for you to try. Have fun.